Shalom. To start this lesson, I want to begin by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bacha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to sincere brothers pushing the truth in all true sincerity throughout the four corners of earth diligently. And also, shalom to a few sisters that listen and believe as well. Shalom to you all. I'm the brother, award-won lawyer from the GMS Miami. There holds a Yahweh Shai camp. And I come back with another lesson through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai to edify the elect, my fellow brothers, Lord, will not be a part of the elect. And this lesson is titled, The Right Hand Always Overpowers the Left Hand. All right. And this lesson came about from me reading the book of Exodus, chapter 1 through 12. You know, tomorrow at evening, we'll begin the Passover. And for the past couple of years, around the Passover, I like to refresh my mind by going through those first couple of chapters, you know, whether it be 1 through 12. It's usually like 1 through 12, you know, sometimes, usually 1 through 12. And I just go through like the plagues and what happened, the deliverance. Okay. I've been doing this for the past, I'll say, couple or few years, all right, around the Passover, all through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, and something that I realized reading earlier today, something that I realized was the right hand always overpowers the left hand. All right, something that I realized while reading, because you read about how Moses and Aaron were able to do certain things, and the men of Egypt, the magicians, all right, the sorcerers, they were able to do certain things too. All right, same things that Moses and Aaron were able to do, they were able to do. All right, you know, do certain plagues. Okay, do certain miracles. All right. Then it got to a point that the left hand, the Egyptian magicians, sorcerers, magicians slash sorcerers, they weren't able to do certain things. It got to a point where their magic, all right, their power fizzled out and the right hand overpowered and won. Because the right hand was able to keep doing things and keep doing things, but eventually the left hand had to stop. Basically, the left hand had a limit. Okay. And you read about that, and you see that when you read the book of Exodus. Okay. You see that. You see it. And you're going to see that in the near future when the Lord give us spiritual power, all right, to fight against our enemies. That right hand is going to overpower the left, which when you read this book of Job, it tell you how the Lord is eventually going to blow out the candle, blow out these Edomites' candle, which is their wisdom, their power. Okay. The Lord's going to blow out their candle, which the Lord is starting to do that now. All right. We're in the beginning stages. All right. And eventually it's going to play out in its fullness real soon. All right. But for the sake of the lesson, let's just stick to the point, which the title is, once again, the right hand always overpowers the left hand. And once again, when you read the book of Exodus, starting at the first chapter, all right, so you can get some background, you know, history about, you know, Moses and so on and so forth, what was going on, why did you know, so just so you can get some background of Moses and our people being in captivity under the Egyptians and so on and so forth. So, yeah. But once again, when you read it, you see how the right hand overpowers the left. And we're just going to get into scriptures and bring out certain accounts. And we're going to bring out the account where, Salakia, where the Egyptians, all right, they couldn't match up. They couldn't match what they say in the world, couldn't match the energy. They couldn't match the energy of the right hand. The left hand couldn't match it. Okay. Eventually the right hand overpowered. But I want to bring this out right quick before I get into again the different plagues in the book of Exodus. Before I get into that, I'm gonna bring out the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach chapter 33, verse 14. It says, "Good is set against evil, and life against death. so is the goodly, so is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. Right? So good is set against evil. All right. The Lord is always gonna have a right hand, and the Lord's always gonna have a left hand. That's balance. All right. And one is always gonna be set against the other. That's just how it is, man. That's how the Lord has it set up. One set against another. All right. That's just how it is, man. And there's another scripture I want to grab too that basically says this too. Where is it? It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, I believe, verse 14. Let me check right quick, brothers. I believe this is it, though. Yep. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 14. In the day of prosperity, be joyful, but in the day of adversity, consider. God also has set the one over against the other, to the end that man should find nothing after him. All right, so it goes into how, in the day of prosperity be joyful, in the day of adversity consider. All right, the Lord set one over the other, one over against the other. All right, this is a balance, man. You got times of prosperity, times of adversity. The Lord deal with balance. The Lord always deals with one set against the other. Okay, like we just read in here, and like we just read in the book of Sirach 33 and 14, which says again, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. Okay, and when you read the book of Exodus, you're gonna see the godly against the sinner. All right, the chosen of the Lord against the heathen. Okay, you're gonna see the good set against the evil, the life set against death. You're gonna see that. All right. We're going to get right into it. Lord, willing, this lesson be edifying. We're going to start here, man, in the book of Exodus, chapter 7, and I'll start at verse 8. The point is in verse 12. I got my notes written down on my phone, so I'm going to just go along with my phone and also read here. This is the book of this is the book of Exodus, chapter 7, verse 8. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, shew a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord Yahweh had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Verse 11. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like matter with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. Keep this in mind. Verse 13. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart that he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord Yahweh had said, not hearken unto who? Moses and Aaron. But keep in mind, which you're gonna get back to in verse 12, which I'm gonna read it again. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. So this right here, this was an example of the right hand overpowering the left hand. Okay. The Lord showed you from the beginning, because real soon we about to get into the plagues, which the first plague we about to get into is blood, which we about to continue reading in the 7th chapter. But you see how the Lord showed you the beginning. The Lord showed you before the plagues even started popping off. The Lord showed you, look, which side he's for and which side he's not for. Because all those men casted forth their rods, and Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. Showing you what? The Lord is with the right hand. Okay? He's with the right hand. The right hand overpowers the left, which we're going to read. We're going to see how over time the right hand overpowered the left hand. All right? Let's continue to keep reading. Verse 14. We're going to read 14 through 25, Lord willing. It says, water is turned to blood. Exodus 7 and 14. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refused to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out into the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brick, brink, against he come. And the rod which was turned into a serpent shalt thou take in thine hand. And thou shalt say unto him, the Lord Yahweh, God of the Hebrews, has sent me unto thee, saying, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, in this thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. This is the first plague. And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink the water of the river. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, take thy rod and stretch out thine hand unto the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, that they that and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so as the Lord Yahweh commanded, and he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And the Egyptians, and the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them as the Lord Yahweh had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to do this also. And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that the Lord Yahweh had smitten the river. Okay, so this plague, the magicians were able to do. All right, the magicians were able to do this plague, which was the plague turning water to blood. Now let's move on to the next plague, which is this is the plague dealing with the frogs. And we'll start at verse 1 to 15. Exodus 8 and 1. The title is Frogs Over the Land. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, go unto Pharaoh and say unto him, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thy house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thine knitting troughs. Slaki, knitting troughs. And the frogs shall come up both of thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, entreat the Lord Yahweh that he may make that he may take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto the Lord Yahweh. And Moses said unto Pharaoh, glory over me, When shall I entreat for thee and for thy servants and for thy people to destroy the frogs from thee and thine houses, that they may remain in the river only? And he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Lord Yahweh our God. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people, they shall remain in the river only. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto the Lord Yahweh because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And the Lord Yahweh did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died out of the houses of the villages and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. And when Pharaoh saw that, But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart and hearkened not unto them as the Lord Yahweh had said. All right, and this is the plague dealing with the blood. I mean, Slaki, this is the plague dealing with the frogs, man. All right, now let's get down to the lice, okay? Because this is going to be a plague that the Egyptians couldn't do. All right. And even when you read this, all right, where was it, man? Salaki was uh all right, verse 7. And the Egyptians did so with their enchantments and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. So they was able to do this too. Let's see if they be able to do this. And this is the plague dealing with lice. This is the third plague, which three means what? Understanding. All right. It says the plague of insects. We're gonna start verse 16 through 19. It says, And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beasts, and Saki, all the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 18, and the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. Highlighter, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beasts. Then the Egyptians said unto Pharaoh, then the magician said unto Pharaoh, This is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as the Lord Yahweh had said. So the Egyptians, I keep saying the Egyptians, the magicians, there was a level they couldn't pass. There was a bound they couldn't go past, man. All right. Their magic only worked to a certain level. The right hand overpowered the left hand because the right hand was able to bring forth lice through the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The left hand tried to do it, whether it be in their, it was in their other God's name or whatever. They tried to do it, but it didn't work. It didn't work, man. All right. Let's keep reading. We're going to read verse 20. We're going to start verse 20 and read down, dealing with the flies. This is another plague. Exodus 8 and 20. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Lo he cometh forth to the water, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses. and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. So it's going to be flies everywhere. And I will serve, Sakia, and I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, that's where the Israelites were dwelling, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord Yahweh in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and thy people tomorrow. Tomorrow shall this sign be. Okay? The Lord was with his people. He wasn't with the Egyptian people. All right? The Lord was with Moses. The Lord wasn't with the magicians of Egypt. Okay? That was that division. All right? Put a division between his people and the Egyptian people. The Lord was with his people. The Lord wasn't with the Egyptians. Yeah, that was that division. And also another division that was taking place, I should say, look at the right hand and the left hand. The Lord was with Moses and Aaron. The Lord wasn't with the magicians of Egypt. All right, it was a division. Okay, verse 24. And the Lord Yahweh did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron and said, go ye sacrifice to your God in the land. And Moses said, it is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord Yahweh our God. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? We will go 3 days journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord Yahweh our God, as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that ye may sacrifice to the Lord Yahweh your God in the wilderness, only ye shall not go very, very far away. Entreat for me. And Moses said, behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Lord Yahweh that the swarm of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully anymore in not letting the people go to sacrifice unto the Lord Yahweh. And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh did according to the word of Moses, and he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, neither would he let the people go. All right, so the uh um this is the fourth plague, man, dealing with the swarms of flies, man. All right, the magicians couldn't do this either. So, like your brothers, I keep getting two words mixed up. The magicians of Egypt couldn't do these either, man. All right, so it's two plagues they couldn't do. They couldn't do the lice, they couldn't do the flies. Let's see what other plagues they couldn't do. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 9 and verse 1. Egyptian cattle die. Then the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, God of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For if thou refuse to let them go, and wilt hold them still, behold, the hand of the Lord Yahweh is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. And the Lord Yahweh shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle Egypt, and there shall nothing die of all that is the children's of Israel. And the Lord Yahweh appointed a set time, saying, the morrow the Lord Yahweh shall do this thing in the land. And the Lord Yahweh did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died, but the cattle of the children of Israel did not die. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead, and the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. So if Pharaoh went to go check, like, hey man, do they still got their cattle? His people came back, yeah, they still got their cattle. They still got their cattle, king. Still got their cattle, Pharaoh. All right. But guess what? His heart was still hardened. And this was another plague that the magicians couldn't do. Okay. They lost their power. This was the fifth plague. This was the death of the lively stock of the livestock. All right, the death of the animals. All right. Next, let's get into the boils, the plague of boils. I'm going to read start at verse 8 through 12. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses and unto Aaron, take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh, and he shall become small, and it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man, upon beasts throughout all the land of Egypt. And they took ashes from the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beasts. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boil was upon the magicians and upon all the all the Egyptians. So the boils were on the magicians. They couldn't stand before Moses. Neither could they have done this act either, because the Lord cut the left hand off. All right. It got to a level where the Lord cut those magicians of Egypt off, man. Verse 12, and the Lord Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord Yahweh had spoken unto Moses. So this is the plague with the boils. All right. The Egyptians couldn't do, the magicians of Egypt couldn't do these either. Now let's get into hail. All right. The plague of hail. Exodus 9 and 13. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Moses, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, thus said the Lord Yahweh, God of the Hebrews, showing you the Lord only dealing with the Israelites from the very beginning. Those are his people. I could tell you in the book of Exodus 4 and 22, Israel is my firstborn. But that's another topic for another. That's another topic for another time. It says, thus said the Lord Yahweh, God of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine house, upon thine heart, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed, for this cause I have raised thee up, for to shew in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou wouldest, that thou wilt not let them go. Slaki, now we about to get into the plagues of the hell. Slaki. Verse 18. Okay. Verse 18, behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as have not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even unto now. So They never seen this type of rain before. All right, haven't. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, it says such as have not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even unto now. All right. Hey, the scriptures talk about the Lord gonna do wonders, in the times to come. Okay, the Lord was doing wonders back then. Okay, verse 19: Send therefore now and gather thy cattle and all that thou hast in the field, for upon every man and beast which shall not, which shall be found, which shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hell shall come down upon them, and they shall die. He that feared the word of the Lord Yahweh among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the houses. So you had servants of Pharaoh scared. And they started to become scared once they seen the magicians couldn't match Moses and Aaron's energy anymore. The left hand couldn't keep up with the right hand anymore. They started being fearful from back then. All right. Some of them started being fearful. All right. Then plague after plague, it was like, oh, more started being fearful. Now you reading now, you had certain servants that feared the word of the Lord that came from Moses and Aaron. So they made their servants and their cattle flee into their houses, man. Shit, you know, least well, God forbid, they get hit with this hell and they die. Shit, nah, y'all gonna be in the crib, okay? Verse 29, it's like 21. I'm tripping. And he that regarded not the word of the Lord Yahweh left his servants and his cattle in the field. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch forth thine hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, and upon man, and upon beast, and upon every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord Yahweh sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground, and the Lord Yahweh rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. They never seen something like this. All right. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, that Aslakia, all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field and break every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail. Which when we read, I believe that was in the 8th chapter about how the Lord was going to set that division, okay, between His people and the Egyptian people. The Lord was with His people, and they were in the land of Goshen. And when you read, the Lord was taking care of those in the land of Goshen while their enemies were getting their judgment. All right. Verse I'm gonna read just this last verse, and then um you brothers can continue keep reading on down. But for the sake of time, I'm gonna just read this last verse and get to the next plague and chapter. Verse 27. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said unto them, I have sinned this time. This time, the Lord Yahweh is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Come on, man. All right, verse 20, I'll read verse 28. Entreat the Lord Yahweh, for this is enough. This is enough. Pharaoh felt defeated, man. That there be no more mighty thunderings and hail, and I will let you go, and ye shall stay no more. All right. I'm gonna get to the next chapter. This is the book of Exodus chapter 10 and verse 1. We're gonna read about the plague of locusts. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the heart of his servants, that I might shew these my signs before him, and that thou mayest tell in the ears of my son and of thy son's sons. Read that again. And that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son and of thy son's sons, and of thy son's son, what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how that I am the Lord Yahweh. All right. So it's supposed to be a memorial, which is a memorial being spoken of to this very day. Okay. And it's going to be a memorial still in the kingdom. All right. That you may tell your son, and your son gonna tell his son's son, and it's gonna continue. All right. All right. And you see that too. We see this taking place even in these times. All right. You got us. All right. We have we all knew about the story of Egypt, but we got more understanding of everything that was going on. And you got brothers that have children, and they passing it down to their children. Okay. All right. But continuing on, verse 3. And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, God of the Hebrews, how long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. All right? How long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. All right? Verse 4. Least if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring the locusts into thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one could not be able to see the earth, and they shall see the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth up unto you from the hell, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. Verse 6. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, which neither their fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were upon the earth unto this day. And he turned himself and went out from Pharaoh. Mm, sheesh. And Pharaoh's servants said unto him, How long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the men go, that they may serve the Lord Yahweh their God. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? So you had Pharaoh's servants like, man, let them people go, man. Let them go. You can't see what's happening to Egypt. You can't see. We're done. We're finished. Verse 8. And Moses and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh. Let me just jump down so I can get to the point. Verse 12. And the Lord Yahweh, jumping down verse 12. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt, and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hell have left. So eat the eat all the herb of the land, and even the remaining that the hell couldn't get to. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt. And the Lord Yahweh brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested in all the coasts of Egypt. Every very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts. It's like before them there were no such locusts as they. Neither after them shall be such. The Lord is doing wonders right now, man. Strange wonders. Verse 15. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened, and they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. and there remained not any green thing in the trees, or in the herbs of the field, through all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste, and he said, I have sinned against the Lord Yahweh your God and against you. Which, let's just keep going down. When you keep reading, you read about how the Lord sent a strong west wind and all the locusts was gone. All right. Let's jump down to, oh, yep. We're going, now we're getting into plague, darkness of the land, and this is the ninth plague. So we don't read about the blood, the frogs, the lice, the flies, dead stock, the dead livestock, the boils, hell, locusts. Now we had the darkness. This is the ninth plague we are right now. Okay, and also keep in mind once again, the third plague is when the Egyptians, the magicians, could not do. All right, the magicians of Egypt they could not do. It stopped at the third plague. Ever since then, they were catching hell with the Egyptian people. All right. Now let's read this. I'm gonna skim through this right quick. Uh, Exodus chapter 10, verse 21. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. Call on him. And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, go ye, serve the Lord Yahweh. Only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. Let's jump down. Just wanted to read that part. Lord judged them with thick darkness for 3 days. And it said that no one arose. It says neither rose any from his place. So yeah, people in their crib, probably starving, scared to shit. All right, scared as shit. All right, the darkness was so hard you can feel it. All right, man, that's scary. Um, and we continue down. Pharaoh confessing he has sinned, and Moses going to go pray, and then his heart got hardened again. All right, which was all prophecy. But this is the last plague, and this is the plague of the death of the firstborn. All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 11, verse 1. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt, where afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor jewels of silver and jewels of gold. The Lord Yahweh gave the people. You see, you can really just read that. I would continue, but you guys can read that on your own time. Let me just get right to the point. I'm gonna get to verse 4. Hebrews 11:4. And Moses said, thus said the Lord Yahweh, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn of the land in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of the beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it anymore. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord Yahweh doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Okay. Uh, Verse 8. And all thy servants shall come up. All right. Let's get to that. Where is it? It's in the next chapter, I believe. Uh, let's get to the next chapter. I'll just go to the next chapter. I think it's the beginning verses. Yep. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me see. Just trying to get to a point, brothers. I ain't trying to just, you can read it on your own time. I ain't trying to overly read. Get right to the point. Short and simple. Um, where is it? Verse 12. Yeah, verse 12. I'm just read this and jump down. For Exodus 12 and 12. I will pass through the land of Egypt this night and will smite all the firstborn of the land in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt. I will execute judgment. I am the Lord Yahweh. All right. The Lord said you're gonna do it, and he did it. All right, this was the last and final plague. I want to get down to it. Where verse is that? So like it, brothers. I'm just scrolling right now. So I can find it. All right. Verse 29. You see? All right, verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord Yahweh smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord Yahweh as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. All right. So these were the 10 plagues from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the reason why the Lord had these plagues take place, all right, the Lord wanted to show his power. All right. And the Lord did show his power. Okay. That's how the Lord gets down, man. The Lord likes showing his power, man. Okay. Like showing his power. But going back to the lesson, the right hand the right hand always overpowers the left hand. And we seen it. How eventually the Lord stopped, all right, stopped the left hand, but the Lord kept the right hand going, man. Okay, that's spiritual, man. All right, I'm gonna end off with this right quick because the Lord was doing strange wonders. Okay, and we are in modern day Egypt. When you read the book of Second Ezra 15, and when you read the book of Revelation 11, where it says, well, this is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So this is spiritually Egypt all over again. This is the modern day Egypt. And even when you read 2nd Ezra 15, it says the Lord will smite Egypt with plagues as before. Okay? So this is Egypt all over again, man. The Lord was doing strange wonders back then, because when you read it, what was it saying? It was mentioning and saying how this has never been since the foundation. All right, this has never been and shall never be again after this time, man. The Lord was doing strange wonders, man. All right, the Lord was judging those people, man. All right, through his right hand. Okay, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 1. Have mercy upon me, O Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, God of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. That's right. Lift up thine hand against the strange nations and let them see thy power. And you've seen that when we was reading the book of Exodus. The Lord was showing forth his power through his men. Verse 4, as thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. And let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no God but only thou, O God, which the Lord was saying when you read the book of Exodus, which we just got done reading. The Lord was doing all that he was doing to prove to Pharaoh that there is no God. All right, there's only one God over the whole earth, and that's me. Okay, it's not you, Pharaoh, it's me. Okay, Lord was showing his power, man. and showing that there was no other but him. Verse 6, shew new signs, which the Lord was doing back then, and the Lord going to do it in these times, which we're starting to see it. Shew new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary, and destroy the enemy. The Lord destroyed Pharaoh and his people. When you read, I believe that's in the 14th chapter or the 13th chapter, how they drowned, all right, in the waters. Sake the time short. Remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire. Let them that perish, let them perish that oppress the people, man. All right, those that have oppressed what people? The Israelite people, the Lord's people. Okay, it's good to say, all right, we don't touch the apple of his eye. All right, just to sum it up, basically what it's saying. I believe that's in Zechariah. I forget where it's at. Or Psalms, or both of them. All right, we're the apple of the Lord's eye. You can't touch us without getting yourself touched. And when you read the beginning chapters of Exodus, the scriptures say how the Lord heard his people's cry because they were being oppressed. All right, smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. Right? The Lord gonna smite them, man. The Lord smite Pharaoh. Pharaoh thought that he was that guy. Okay? He thought that he was that guy, but you weren't. All right. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thou them as from the beginning. O Lord Yahweh, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. O be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. All right. So that's about it. Slovakia. Yeah, that's about it, brothers. All right. The Lord, I just want to see those more meat to get off the bone, but that's about it, man. Lord, as we was reading, you just seen how the Lord was just showing forth his power, doing strange works and wonders, all right, on our enemies. Okay. The Lord did it in ancient Egypt, the Lord gonna do it in this modern day Egypt. Okay. It's good to say, which let me just grab it right quick. The Lord said he's gonna smite them with plagues as before, man. Showing you that this is modern day Egypt, man. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, and verse 10. I'll start verse 10 actually. I'll start verse 9. Man, I'll start verse 7. Salakia. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cry unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. All right. And therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will surely, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. The point is, all right, as before. All right, so it happened before, it's gonna happen again. All right, in this modern day Egypt. All right, because America is modern day Egypt, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. It's called Sodom because all this moral activity that takes place in America, Babylon the Great. All right, it's called Egypt because of the bondage. We're in captivity. Okay, this is our captivity. The Israelites are in captivity, but this is the last captivity. I can tell you in the book of Jeremiah. Slovakia. tell you the book of Jeremiah, 16. I'll start verse 14, I believe. Is it 14? Yep. Slakia. Jeremiah 16 and 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, the Lord Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, because this is a memorial. This is still talked about to this day. Okay? This is a memorial. All right. Verse 15. But the Lord Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, which is America, and from all the lands whither he have driven them, because we are scattered. And I will bring them again into their land that Slakia, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Right. So the Lord, just like he delivered us in ancient Egypt, the Lord will deliver us in this Egypt. Okay. Which how the Lord delivered our people in ancient Egypt, that was a strange wonder. Okay. And the way the Lord will deliver us in this Egypt is going to be a strange wonder. And when you read the book of Wisdom of Solomon in the 5th chapter, it says the strangeness of our salvation, us going up in chariots, man. Okay. But the point of the lesson, man. All right, once again, going back to the title, the right hand always overpowers the left hand. Okay. At the end of the right hand always wins. And we see that when we was reading. Okay. The Lord was bringing forth those strange wonders. All right, even that the Lord was bringing forth the strange wonders and even that strange deliverance through the right hand, man. All right, it was all through the right hand. It was all through the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. And the left hand couldn't do shit, man. The left hand tried to do different things, but the Lord blocked them. Okay, so the point is, once again, the right hand always overpowers the left hand, man. Okay. So Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm gonna end off by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and salutation to sincere brothers pushing his truth and all truth sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth diligently. Also, shalom to a few sisters that listen and believe as well. Shalom to you all. Shalom.